So in this video, we're going to discuss why I believe that OG can turn the Knicks into contenders and help us move forward in our progression, man. So, man, welcome to the channel. I am the objective fan, straight out of Kings County, New York City's finest, and you know the vibes. So, yes, you heard me right. I said that I believe OG can help turn us into contenders. Now, are they going to have to make some other moves? Of course. But does he make us a better team? I think so. I think sometimes subtraction is addition. People may not understand what I mean by that. Sometimes subtraction is addition. When this trade first went down, I'm not going to lie to you. I was confused because I already knew that Quickly was going to be traded. I did a video, check it out. The Emmanuel Quickly trade is imminent. I did that. Check that out. So that wasn't really the problem for me, right? The issue was RJ and Quickly for OG. And I know we got Malachi Flynn and Precious Anunoby. Big up to those guys. Now, oh yeah.
Don't forget to like this video and also subscribe to my channel.
Make sure you subscribe to the channel, man. Support the channel by subscribing and liking, right? So I was kind of thrown for a loop, and then we gave up a first round pick. I mean, a second round pick that's like a first round pick. So I'm not gonna lie to you, I was a little confused. But however, after watching the last 4 games, and I'm glad I didn't do no content on this when it was fresh because especially if you're emotional, not that I'm emotional, I'm objective, but I like to have a body of work. And 4 games, honestly, is not enough. Because a lot can change in 4 games, in 5 games. That's not a consistent number that I would, use as a standard for anything. However, how he's played these first 4 games that really has intrigued me. Now, let's jump into research mode for a little while. Okay, so we got OG Anunoby. I do want to talk about some of the things he brings to the table, right? And before I get there, definitely check out the shop, man. Shop at theobjectiveknicksfan.com to get all your Knicks merch. I bleed orange and blue shirts. I have different colors, different variations. I got Digisoft. These are this is the premium hoodie. I got the Digisoft. If you're into that, definitely check it out. I have a lot of good stuff on the website, man. And listen, I give 10% discount. My prices are fairly reasonable. Definitely check it out. And support the channel by visiting shop.theobjectiveknicksfan.com. And let me get back to the content, right? Let me cook. I like OG a lot because he doesn't need the ball to be effective. That's something that Quickly has grown in a little bit, but Quickly needs the ball to be effective. I mean, we see it with Toronto, right? Toronto Quickly's jacking up a lot of shots. It's like the wild, wild west for Quickly. It's like Quickly is finally getting to do what he wants to do offensively. And, salute to Quickly, right? RJ Barrett is all right. He's playing all right. Still not getting to his 20 points per game, but it's an adjustment there. And they literally gave them the keys. So OG coming to New York is the opposite. We already have Jalen Brunson, Julius Randle. Those are the 2 best players on the team. On the team, and so there's no debate as to whose team it is. Right, going forward, we know who is the man on this team. So OG's not coming in to be what Quickly and RJ was or is in Toronto. So I love what OG's doing. He's still learning the offensive side of the game, learning the offensive system. So right now he's, slashing, hitting the open threes in the corner. And honestly, that's all we really need him to do. Speaking of the 3-point shooter, OG turns our team into a premier 3-point shooting team in the league. And the reason why I say that is not just because of his shooting prowess. As you can see right now, he's shooting 48% as a Knick, and he's shooting 37% from downtown. Pretty consistent with what he's doing on the season. His scoring is down a couple of points, but he's just got to the Knicks. He's at 12 points a game, whatever. So that's fine. And his field goal attempts dropped to 2, but we'll see. I mean, as he plays more games, get more comfortable in the system, and you know what I like? Tibbs playing him with the second unit. Because the Knicks have such an edge with Brandel and Brunson playing the majority of the first quarter. So, and then, OG's playing the backup four. Now, look. So now OG actually takes the pressure off of Hart. That's why Hart had a plus 70 the past 2 games, because Hart does not have to guard these big power forwards no more. Right? Salute to Josh Hart. He doesn't have to take that task. OG takes the pressure off of him. So OG is turning the Knicks into a good shooting team. So the Knicks right now, they're 11th in three-pointers made, 15th in three-pointers attempted, and 6th in three-point percentage, right? Now, of course, that's the majority of their work for the season. So I'm not saying that, OG is the cause of these numbers right now. But what I am saying, he's going to be the cause of these numbers either staying this way or going up. Here's why. Because not only is he a 37% shooter from the field, right? Dante is shooting 47% as a starter in the system, right? So now OG comes, more shots for Dante. And now the style of play that the Knicks are running is more of a ball movement. We're playing through Randall, Brunson, who both can pass. Brunson's averaging 6 assists a game, career highs. Randall's averaging about five assists a game, career highs. So now you're putting these guys in positions to be better playmakers. Why? Because you have better shooters on the floor. And guess what? Hartenstein can even knock down the 3-ball. He doesn't shoot a lot of threes because he plays in the high post a lot. And he's looking to get rebounds he's trying to fill in the Mitchell Robinson's role. So how does OG help with all of this? You take away RJ, who was an inefficient shooter. He was shooting about 31% from downtown. Get rid of him. Add a 37% shooter. Give more shots to a more efficient shooter in Dante DiVincenzo. Then you got Grimes. This frees up. Grimes now could come off the bench because quickly there now. Grimes could come in and light it up. He's another 38% shooter from downtown, right? Deuce McBride is showing he can knock down the deep 3-ball. We'll see what his percentage is. It's kind of fresh. He's just now getting minutes, so that's going to be a fresh situation, right? Then Josh Hart. Now he doesn't have to bang with these big 6'9" guys because OG is going to do that, right? And so now Hart can focus on being more of a wing, guard-like responsibilities, get his rebounds and run. So that's OG turns this team into a better three-point shooting team by more so by subtraction than addition. Yes, he's adding his 37%, but Quickly was a 37% shooter, right? So you replace Quickly with OG, but now you give more opportunities to better guys at shooting the three, right? His athleticism, like I said, his versatility. He's 6'7" with a 7'2" wingspan. This man is like me. I got long arms too. I can't show you, but my arms are really long too. And I'm about 6'2". So, he's definitely, his athleticism brings something different to the table. He might even be a better athlete than RJ. Not a better scorer than RJ, but a better athlete than RJ. Deceptive speed. Does a good job with lateral movement. Good athleticism, can slash off the ball. Doesn't need the ball to be effective. So, and then you know what? Some of his accolades, right? So I know you're like, well, these things are good, but how does he turn us into a contender? Well, if we're shooting the ball at a high clip, our defense is definitely improving, right? His defense, he brings somebody who is one of the premier defenders in the league. I mean, he's coming off of a All NBA defensive second team honor, right? Last year, he was a steals champ last year. I know his steals are not as high as it was last year. Let me look at his steals. Steals, yeah, his steals. I mean, he was what was he? He was 1.9 last year. It's dropped a bit. But as a Knick, it's 1.5. So his steals may go up as a Knick. Why? Because the Knicks have a good defensive system and schemes where he can become a defensive star in New York. like because he's going to be guarding a lot of the tougher matchups. And Dante is another guy. So having two guys like that out there that can defend really well takes a lot of pressure off of Brunson and Randall. So now Brunson and Randall can become more offensive minded, though we play good team defense. Brunson, you continue doing your job drawing them charges, right? So, um, so those are his accolades. So he's an NBA champion, even though he didn't play during the championship playoff run. He was a key factor on this team. I mean, if we can look at some of the stats, so this was what 2019 they won the NBA championship, and so when you look at 2019, he played 67 games, right? I know he's gone through some injury spells, but in recent years, but he played 67 games last year. No reason why he can't play another 67, maybe even 70 games this year. I don't see why not. But he averaged about 20 minutes a game. So he was a key role player for this team. He did what he had to do coming off the bench. So he has that championship experience. If you need guys like him and Dante that have been those guys on those teams. So and then talking about his playoff experience, he's somebody who's definitely seasoned in the playoffs. I mean, I'm gonna pull up his playoff game logs more so than averages, so we can actually look at the experience that he has. So now going into the playoffs, maybe in this, if we make the second round, and I think we could make the second round, we won't be the most least experienced team because yeah, he got hurt in 2019, as you can see here, but in 2018 he made the second round, right? In 2020, well, 2019, he didn't play much in those playoffs, but he played in 2020 and they made the second round in 2020. And of course, 2022, he also made the playoffs. So this guy has some experience. So he's not going to be, I'm not saying he has the most experience. What I'm saying is he's not going to be green, right? There's guys that are green. We seen it from Garland, where Garland was inconsistent. Half the time he was all right. Mobley, Allen. Well, I think Allen might have made the playoffs. I'm not sure about Allen. I think Allen did make the playoffs with the Nets, but I know Mobley, that was his first time. Garland, that was his first time. Okoro, that was his first time. So a lot of those guys were green. So now you get a guy who's not green, actually played with a championship team. He knows what winning looks like, and he can help. I think that OG is he's the first piece that can take us to a contender. Now your next move puts you over the top. Whether it's Donovan Mitchell, I don't know. Whether it's DeJounte Murray, I honestly think that DeJounte Murray can pull us over the top. I believe it in my heart, mind, body, and soul. And the reason why I say that is because I think that he's another 20-point per game scorer who's a more than capable defender. And then you move Dante to the bench with Grimes and Hart. That's a really efficient lineup, right? That's a really efficient lineup. And then at that point, it doesn't even matter. I mean, I know you got Precious Anunoby, who plays a little 5-4, but I think that if I'm the Knicks, I'm looking to make that trade. Maybe I might even consider a Malcolm Brogdon trade. I'm not really 100% sold on Malcolm Brogdon, but that's all for this video. I just wanted to give you some things that I realized that OG brings to the table, and he may not be that one piece that gets us to the championship, but I do think he turns us into a contender. Here's what I mean by contender. Someone that gets us to 50 wins. I already thought we was going to win 50 wins before he got there, but now I really do believe we can win 50 wins with him and maybe an Eastern Conference Finals, second round. And then next year you get a star or you get somebody to help bring you over the top, whether it's a Dante Murray or whoever. The Knicks are right there. And this move, in my opinion, helps solidify that. So, we'll see going forward what this entails. And that's all for this video. So, yes, I think OG Anunoby does what he does. And salute to you for watching. And until next time.